The old saying about the definition of insanity is repeating the same behavior over and over again and expecting a different outcome. That's me when I watch the evening news. Last night, I decided to sit down and watch ABC World News Tonight with David Muir. It's the #1 rated network newscast. And I wanted to see if they were going to cover the Maryland sheriff's comments about the brutal murder of Rachel Morin. Rachel Morin was a mother of 5. And last year, she went for a hike. She wanted to jog in an area called the Ma and Pa Trail in Bel Air, Maryland. It's a quiet and typically safe town about 30 miles northeast of Baltimore. Police have arrested an illegal named Victor Antonio Martinez Hernandez, 23-year-old scum who certainly shouldn't have been in this country to begin with. He was arrested casually sitting at a bar Friday night in Tulsa, Oklahoma. A police tip and DNA evidence allowed them to crack the case and track him down. Now, the sheriff of Harford County, Maryland, is a guy by the name of Jeffrey Gaylor. Jeffrey Gaylor had some profound things to say about how and why this young mother, this 37-year-old mother of 5, who was sexually assaulted, brutalized, beaten to death on August the 6th of last year. She went missing the day before. The circumstances behind this man's presence in the United States should sicken you. And this is happening on a day where Biden is promising to grant amnesty to 500,000 more illegals. Biden announcing today that illegals who are married to Americans should have their citizenship process sped up. Now, you got to keep that in mind as I share with you the comments of the Harford County Sheriff, Jeffrey Gaylor, involving the arrest of this 23-year-old illegal from from El Salvador, which led to the brutal death, the police say, of this beautiful young mother of 5, 37-year-old Rachel Morin.
It has been a fear of mine that once we identified this suspect, the result would be exactly this. And I want to now direct these comments to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and to every member in both chambers of Congress. We are 1,800 miles away here in Harford County. We are 1,800 miles away from the southern border, and the American citizens are not safe because of failed immigration policies. This is the second time in just 2 years that an innocent Harford County woman has lost her life to a criminal in our country illegally. Let me repeat that. 1,800 miles from the southern border, and this is the second woman in our county to be killed by an illegal alien. Suspects, in both cases, they are suspects from El Salvador with ties to criminal gangs. Should not be happening. Victor Hernandez did not come here to make a better life for himself or for his family. He came here to escape the crime he committed in El Salvador. He came here and murdered Rachel, and God willing, no one else.
Now, first of all, kudos to him for having the guts to stand up to Biden and the dirty Democrats for their disgustingly diabolical open borders policy. Good for him. Good for Sheriff Jeffrey Gaylor. I don't know the political makeup of Harford County, Maryland. Maryland is a pretty blue state, so this guy might be, out the door next election cycle for having the guts to take this problem on. But when he says this is a national crisis, it's a national crisis created by Democrats like Joe Biden who want to give more and more amnesty and freedom and leeway to illegals. And don't believe me? Look at what he's doing today. 500,000 illegals who are married to an American would get an expedited path to citizenship. Now, do you think all because you're married to an American makes you a good person? You don't think there are criminals who are smart enough to figure out if they get married to an American, if they can talk if they can dupe some American into marrying them, they'll get a blanket of protection? Now, every day we see stories like the murder of this mother of five in Maryland. Go to New York. An illegal from Ecuador was arrested the other day for raping a 13-year-old girl in a secluded part of a vast Queens, New York park. The illegal, who authorities believe entered the country in 2021, was arrested after he held the girl and a 13-year-old boy at knife point with a machete-style blade before carrying out his sickening broad daylight act inside a park Thursday afternoon. I mean, this is a guy who shouldn't have been here to begin with. The man who the authorities believe brutally raped and murdered Rachel Morin in Maryland shouldn't have been here to begin with. The guy from El Salvador killed somebody there, and that's why he fled El Salvador and strolled across the border, came into the United States. This is Biden's America, and it's why Donald Trump is going to win in a few weeks. It's why on November 5th, we're going to go to the polls and we're going to put an end to this madness. This insanity is going to stop. And again, in the middle of this crisis that we're experiencing in this country, Biden is announcing amnesty for 500,000 more illegals. They'll never learn. The only thing they're going to know is defeat. And we must defeat them November the 5th.